Your thoughts on that, Thunderous?
It's not a far stretch to understand that false flags are largely provocateurs.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a false flag. It's just that they do these missions like this. Yeah, but true, false flags do happen. I agree there. Yeah. So defense contractors, former government officials, and corporations with business interests in the Middle East. In the Muddle East, I should have called it. Then there are NGOs, especially human rights organizations, that actively, with George Soros money, are trying to import the entire Middle East into Europe and America. Right? Which is just sheer coincidence, obviously. Right? Now, the United Nations, which is effectively run by two groups, the Chinese and the Muslims. Right? The OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, 54 countries. Shouldn't we use the term Muslim Islamic countries rather than the Arab countries? That is true, correct. The Arabs are but the Arabs have the money. The Arabs have the pull. Okay? So the United Nations, and there are resolutions ad nauseum. Okay? So there's a standing joke in the UN about the OIC that they are always going to make a resolution against Israel. Okay? And then you have academics. They fund a lot of money into academia. They are buying minds. They are buying influence. They're doing influence operations, particularly from Islam-funded university Middle East studies departments. Just like the Chinese have their Confucius institutes, which are indoctrination, lobbying, and influence operations groups. They do the very same through these Middle East studies departments where they teach complete bogus trash information about Islam. Okay? So, Israel haters, and of course a significant percentage of the media and cultural elite who are anti-Jewish. And then of course you've got Christian, anti-Jewish, anti-Israel groups cloaked as anti-Zionists. And then you have leaders and diplomats from 21 Arab governments and non-Arab Islamic nations. So they have a huge world. Last I checked, there's 54 Islamic countries and there's one Jewish country. So they're outnumbered by 54 to 1. I'd say the other guys have a numerical advantage. Your thoughts, Thunderous?
No, I'm just thinking to clarify what words mean as well. Because when we look at the word lobbying, in itself, it just means to influence. But in this day and age now, with the way that we're using the word lobby, I think it's probably a bit of a misnomer now. When we're looking at Arab influence, we're talking about bribery and blackmail. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about lobbying to seek influence. We're talking about buying people. And the thing is when you buy something, particularly from a person, the other person has to fulfill their end of the deal.
That's a fair point, and I think that is a very, very fair point. And when we get to the university section, we'll have a look into that and discuss some of the issues around that. So the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, wields critical influence at the UN and at the EU. Right? So now, the Arab lobby, sadly, has no popular support. John Q. Average does not like these people. So for 90 years, the Arab lobby has worked to influence US policy by directly lobbying and paying decision makers. So through money, as you stated, bribery. The Bush family, and we're going to do a section on Bush, we're going to do a section on a certain woman from Arkansas who was married to a certain president from Arkansas at some point. The Bush family earned at least $1.47 billion, that's $1,470 million from Saudi Arabia. Sunny Steve says, no one apart from the Quran. Okay, now, then we have the Clinton family. They had strong support from the Clinton family. Then you've got Grover Norquist, this guy here. He is a Muslim Brotherhood enabler. Sadly, he works within the Republican Party. Okay, then you've got John Brennan, this guy, and there are too many theories that this man is Muslim, possibly Shia. Okay, there are far too many. In fact, there's the one movie on the capture of Osama bin Laden, the killing of Osama bin Laden, Dark 30, right, where he is actually found praying in the CIA, where she goes to see him in the office, and the character who is playing Nathaniel, they moved to Arkansas. He was the governor of Arkansas, so, they're from Arkansas. That's where you get Arkanside from. That's what I'm referring to indirectly. So understand...
Maynard.
Sorry?
Maynard. Was it a little town or something called Maynard he was in? Maynard, Arkansas?
I have no idea, but the governor from Arkansas, they coined the term Arkanside because of that. So in the movie Dark 30, she goes to see John Brennan, and he's busy praying, doing the Islamic prayer on a mat. So the story is he must officially be a Muslim. In fact, there's one very cringeworthy discussion, video on YouTube, where he's talking about his time when he was learning, and he speaks Arabic to the audience, and okay. Then you have Grover Norquist, you have John Brennan, and Huma Abedin, right? So let me actually, hold on, let me actually go, and I just want to, give me 1 second. I actually want to bring up this Huma Abedin thing because I think it is relevant.